And the theme for this year is building a sustainable business with divine strategy. We have our honorable MC. He's on his way coming. He's supposed to give us keynote address. Then followed by Honorable Felix Akwete, MP for Botiano Ingrisi Amanfrom. Then I will be the third presenter. But if I look at the attendance as at this time, then I have to clamp the puppet. By the time I will finish my presentation, I believe that majority of the entrepreneurs, business owners, they will be coming. Amen. And I'm here to present a message that I have a topic that is business as a calling. Business as a calling. Honorable MP Felix Akwete Ukle, Honorable John Boy Assembly Man for Oshie Kokrobite Langba electoral area, right? Thank you very much. And our fire officers, distinguished entrepreneurs and visionaries, and all leaders from the various sectors, I welcome all of you to today's Empowered Entrepreneur Forum. You have not gathered here today merely because to discuss margin or market share or microeconomic trends only. You have been called by divine providence to a higher understanding of your daily labor. In our contemporary Ghanaian context, we have built a wall between the sacred and the secular. And that is our problem that we are facing. Our time even was 6:30, and we've made announcement all across. But it seems we don't take things serious. And that is the nation also we find ourselves. But if entrepreneurs will be serious with their time, then we can turn our nation around. We often assume that the move of God is only confined to the four walls of the church auditorium, and that a preacher is only someone wearing a color or standing behind a beautiful podium like this in the church. But the word of God is not bound by a strong concrete wall and a tinted grass. There is nothing like that. Your business is not just a commercial venture. It is your divine calling. Your workplace is not merely an office or a factory or a workshop or a shop. It is your puppet. Let us dive into this profound truth and redefine how we approach work of our hands. It's very important. Now, when we defined calling, to understand your business as a calling, we must look at a biblical definition of a word called calling. In the New Testament, the Greek word for calling is klesis, which implies an invitation or a divine appointment. An invitation or divine appointment. So any job that we are doing, you have been called and God have appointed you for that particular job. Now, if we can define how a clergyman or a pastor or a priest, how they are so keen about doing religious programs, handle members, counsel them. Anytime you go to church, you will see your pastor, but not some of the members. It's the same. Also, the businesses or the work that we are doing is a calling. So we often limit a calling into the priesthood or a pastoral ministry, that they are the people they have been called. No. However, a sound hermeneutical interpretation of scripture revealed that God calls individuals into various spheres of society to manifest his glory. In the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse number 23 to 24, the Bible says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. So, the work that we are doing, there is inheritance that we receive. If Ghana can develop very well, if we can provide ourselves 3 square meals, if we can develop our community, then we must work. And the reward from our work is what beautiful things that we see. The scripture said, it's the Lord Jesus Christ that we are serving. So if you are working, it's the Lord Jesus Christ that you are serving. Now the highest of crime and the highest sin that a man can commit are those who doesn't work. Idle workers. But sometimes we classify sin into various ways. As pastors, we don't talk about the working people. That is one of the highest sin. Because if you doesn't work, you corrupt the society. You corrupt your generation. You let your generation to come, you let them to suffer. So, Apostle Paul said, he said, whatever you do. So, Apostle Paul uses the Greek word called pass. P-A-S. Whatever that you do. Pass. Which means that all inclusive. Leaving no room for any separation. So, any job that we are doing is because we leave room for separations. It's because we don't regard our businesses so serious. That is the reason why we find ourselves in certain situations. So, whether being manufacturing, trading, farming, services, consulting, any job that we are doing is a calling. And all fall under one umbrella. So, in the context of this text, Paul was addressing everyday workers, managing directors, bond servants in the then Greco-Roman world, people engaged in hard work. If I'm talking about the Greco-Romans, because when Alexander the Great took over then, before Jesus' time, you see that he colonized all the then world. So, what happened is, the Greeks and the Romans, all of them, they learned one language. That is the reason why, when Jesus Christ came, the work became so simple because they communicate in Greek. So we can see that in the eastern part of the world, what do we call it? Industrialization is it started from that place. Industrialization started from there. Hallelujah. So, these people engage in a serious business. So, Paul was addressing them that they should engage in hard work. Everyday business, they need to engage in hard work. He did not tell them to quit their job to join the ministry, but he told them that their job was their ministry. So your job, your profession, what you are doing today is your ministry. So when you manufacture a product or you offer any services, we have various artisans, those who are aspiring to be business officers. Your ministry is the work that you are doing. So your ultimate transaction is the heaven. That is your job that you are doing today. And the ledger of your business is being vetted by Almighty God. If we want to build a nation, our work is supposed to be our calling. We must look at nations that have transitioned from poverty to global economic dominance. They did not achieve this by praying without working. They achieve it by turning their work into a form of prayer. We go, sometimes if you go to Atma, you see a lot of people, you see women all the time, they have been moving from one prayer to another. You see that as you are working, then you tell God that, God, bless this business for me. But we don't take businesses serious as calling. In the Western history, the concept of calling in German is called Beruf. So, a sociologist, Max Weber, noted that Northern European Union flourished because they began to view their daily labor as a religious duty. You see that we don't value our work as religious duties. We need to value it. Because when I started my business, sometimes people ask, is it a generational business? I said, no. I started it right from my bedroom. You see that I take it as one of the ministry. Because if I see people working, if I see people that they can feed their family through my company, then I become so much happy. So this seminar, if we see investors emerging, partnering with others, that is my happiness. If Ghana, we can move forward, it means that we need to work. In the Western countries, they work hard and they pay taxes. That is the reason why you see the nation well developed. And many Ghanaians are running to these places so that they can also get job. Because we are not working here. So they are running to where they can get job. But you are the job. So he said that the European nation, they flourish because they see their daily labor as their religious duty. So to build a solid house, to provide yourself a healthy bread or meal and your daily necessity and that of others, we have to consider them as an act of worship. Some people, they can just, be bringing people to this world. And they said that it's God that take care of human beings. Nyame na ehwe nipa sen. So in the Eastern Asian continent, nations like South Korea, like Japan, like China, Singapore, they have transformed their economy within a generation. Because about 20 years back, when this current president came, you see that China has been transformed drastically. And you see the approach of Chinese people in their daily work. You see that, yes, these people are really doing their religious duties. Even look at our roads. The way we suffered before we even moved to this place. It wasn't easy. And we'll be standing there, government. Who is the government? How many taxes are we paying? How many taxes? How many of us we are working? Even a family, if you go to your family house, a family that they are lazy, you always see their family half is collapsed. So if you see nation Ghana, we are still sinking every day. You see the erosion every day we are going down. Some of us, we see our kiosks and our stores hanging up like this. Our houses hanging up like this. Because erosion have eaten all the distance. And who? Where is the money? Few of us, we stood up that, okay, let's organize and do this, do our road. As we were doing, we were contributing. Our MP also send money. That good job, go ahead. Because without us doing it, there is no way we can get government intervention because the money is not there. Who want to be disgraced as a president or as a minister or as an MP? Who want to be disgraced? Everybody need an honor. So, this country treated economic production with a level of reverence. The way we go to work, our attitude towards, you see that they treat their work so special. They discipline themselves. And national duty, that mirror their spiritual devotion. That is my national duty. In Ghana and Africa, are to rise to their full potentials. Entrepreneurs must stop viewing business as a survival mechanism and start viewing it as a divine calling to transform our economy. If we see our businesses as a divine calling, everybody have a call, and that your call is so special, your call is so unique. Somebody cannot act as how God have called you. Our marketplace is our puppets. A puppet is a platform which truth is proclaimed, justice is advocated, and God's character is revealed. So if your business is your puppet, then how do you preach? That is the question. If your business is your puppet, the business that you are doing, the company that you are working with, if it's your puppet, then how do you preach? Because the impact of your preaching will correspond with the evidence or outcome seen in your business. So you are preaching every day. You are preaching to people. You are preaching prosperity. You are preaching financial freedom. You are preaching economic relief. Then you ask yourself that if you are working, what kind of approach you are approaching your business? And if your business is your puppet, then what are you preaching? And how do you preach? Because the impact of your preaching will correspond with the evidence or the outcome seen in your business. So let us all preach very well. And our preaching should correspond with what? With the outcome and the evidence that people will see. Because from bedroom to a company that you can employ about 300 people. And gradually, not only this place, there are other places also. We have also established companies. Now I have had about 100 acres. I'm looking for investors, and I've traveled all over to bring people so that we see that Ghanaians, they are working. And that is the highest calling. How do you preach through your product? Selling inferior goods or compromising on production standard. It's a silent sermon of dishonesty. Even some of us, we are selling. And things, even those who are, some of the people, they operate restaurant, chobas and all of them. They just go to market and select bad, ingredients for their food. Some of them. If we go to market, inferior goods, other things. So how do you preach? They are bad preaching. But when your products are excellent, reliable and safe, you are preaching a sermon on the excellence of God. So whatever that we are doing, we need to put excellence. I am telling you, let us be so serious. We have our clergymen here. Ask them, how do they do their job? Every day, every day, you see them praying, counseling. Pastor, there are a lot of things back over here. We cannot release people's secret, and all of them, they are here. And our heads are blasting. We have to go to church at any meeting days, any church activities, any church service. We have been going different places, burying people, naming ceremonies, weddings, so many things. We have laid down our life. How have you laid down your life for the work that you are doing? It's your calling. You need to preach through problem solving. God is the creator and the deliverer. When your business solves a practical problem, whether providing daily bread, shelter, clothing for yourself and others, you are extending God's care to humanity. Yes, you too plan to become a managing director. Let people survive. Let people do what? Survive through your work. Now we want to go to travel to abroad to survive, isn't it? If we say that we are giving visa to a certain country, first come, first serve. As a matter of fact, you will see how all these places will be scattered because everybody wants to run from Ghana. Why are you running from Ghana? The opportunities are here. Seriously, in fact, God has given us everything. Now travel to European countries, some of the Asian countries. Go and look at the weather. Because even if I want to travel, I just time the weather. When the weather is like Ghana weather, then I will go. Because Ghana, we have wonderful weather. Look at our vegetation. Look at our land. Everything is there. Look at natural resources. Look at everything. But when people are placed in various positions, we don't take that job as what? As a calling. But we take it as a means of survival. And we are eating money. We are doing, our attitude towards job is so serious. We are not serious. So, there is a wisdom that demands that if a matter is worth doing, it is worth doing with absolute mastery and devotion. If something needs to be done, then it simply means that you must devote your time. You must master it and do it very well. Because whatever that we do, we don't take it serious. Most of us, the job that we are doing, we take those jobs for granted because we need, we need office job. People are fighting because all these politics and here and there. If you support an MP to be in position, everybody need that opportunity. I need police, I need soldier, I need fire, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need that. All of us, we need job that our life will be guaranteed socially, social security. We need to work very hard. In the Proverbs chapter 22:29, it said, "Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mere men." A man who is diligent in his work, he will stand before kings. Because all of us who were nobody, In fact, if you are poor, if you cannot work very well, if you cannot move ahead in life, nobody will guide you. But if you work so diligently, he said you will stand before kings, but not mere men. So in the Hebrew word for diligent is called mahar, which means they are skilled, quick, ready, and experts. God does not reward mediocrity just because it has been wrapped in prayers. We go there, pray, pray, pray. At the end of the day, we go and sleep. At the end of the day, we are going to sleep. There is a man in Okanshi who employed a pastor. Even after work, 5 o'clock, he will preach within Accra. At the end of the day, he collapsed that man's business. Yes. You see that it is not about how you portray yourself before people, but it's the evidence that people will see, progress that people will see. So, he said he reward those who are committed. God reward those who are committed in their work. So to be committed means enduring the season. A true minister does not abandon the altar because attendance was low. I think last 2 Sundays, there was a rain, isn't it? And how was the attendance? In fact, we had 17 people here. Look at all these places. 17 people came to church. And the preacher was preaching like crazy. So, if a preacher doesn't do that, then an empowered entrepreneur does not abandon the vision because the economic climate is very tough. I remember during the COVID time, that is the time some of us also make money. When Ghana, I think around 2022, around 2022, our currency jumped to 15, 16. Right? 15, 16. And that time, many companies closed their companies. And that was the time I ran quickly to one of our customers. And the economic situation was good. And I went there and he borrowed me money. In the journey of success, we must forge your way in. We should view business as a calling. We need to continue to upgrade ourselves. We shouldn't be using one machine or an antiquity machines or the olden system of doing things. We need to upgrade ourselves. Upgrade yourself. We need to change our formulations. We need to understand our supply chain. We need to master our marketing. They are our spiritual discipline. Doing this is our spiritual discipline. So, protecting your business is protecting the name of God who called you into business. So, to anchor this message, let us look at the wisdom of the ages. King Solomon, the wisest monarch and one of the most successful international trade guru in human history, he left out this counsel in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse number 9. It said, whatever you find, whatever your hand finds to do it with all your mind and your power. For there is no activity or planning or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol where you are going. So in the old Ghanaian adage, it reminds us, it said, "Ejumegu impeni mua yanyeden. Ejumegu impeni mua yanyeden." Yentimenda. If you have something, if you have work lying before you unfinished, there is no way you can go to bed or you can sleep. You can never sleep peacefully. So, we need to work very hard. Then, if we believe that our business or our daily work is a primary calling from God, then we may ask ourselves, why do I still need to get up and go to church on Sunday? or to get into the church building, we need to go to church. Because church, we have this misunderstanding among ourselves. One, what is church? In the Greek word that is called ecclesia, which means that it's called out assembly. You have been called out. So church is a spiritual family you belong to. If you belong to a church, you belong to a spiritual family. It's very important. It's a community of believers gathered together to worship God, support one another, and to equip to live out with faith. So church building is the power station where the workers gather to get fuel and align with God. So your business is a field where that power gets deployed. You receive the power, you get to your work, you deploy that power. It's very important. We need accountability. We need encouragement. We need prayer of a spiritual family. And we find them in the church. Because the Bible says in Ephesians chapter 4 verse 12, it said the role of the church leader is to equip God's people for work of service. So the church is where we get a spiritual training, wisdom, and character development that make us a leader of integrity in the business world. So, what do we do there? In the church, we assemble. It's not about passing time. It is about strategic gathering. A healthy church gathering focuses on these distinctions. In my conclusion, fellow entrepreneurs, we must change our perspective today. When you open your door of your enterprise tomorrow morning, do not say, I am going to work for money. But instead, say, I am stepping to my puppets. I am stepping to my what? Puppets. I am about to minister to God's people through my service, my leadership, and my products. You are going to minister. We must take our work so serious. Let your integrity be your opening prayer. Your integrity. Your yes, your no's. All things that you do equally. Let that one be your opening prayer. Let your operational excellence be your sermon that you preach every day. Operational excellence. Let your economic impact the community. And let your community empowerment be your altar call. How do you impact the community? As we were trying to fix the road, somebody just called me. Oh, we have some sand over here. We have parked, and our master said we should go and do A, B, C, D. So if you can pay us money, so you are within the community. You are using the road. Somebody is using his money to do something, and you have sand over there, and you want to sell the sand for us. The work that you are doing, how do you impact your community? It's very important. So, fellow entrepreneurs, go forth and occupy the marketplace until he comes. You are not just business owners. You are the ministers of the workplace, anointed for such a time like this. May God bless your businesses. And may he prosper the work of your hands. You are most welcome to today's entrepreneurial forum. May God bless you all.
Oh, let's give it up for him. Let's give it up for him. Your business as your calling. That's a very powerful sermon. At the end of the day, he mentioned something. He said, let's not see our business as a means for survival. And the only difference is the mindset. Maybe a small business owner will see it as a survival means, but a big business owner will see it as a platform to change lives. He will see it as a platform to make an impact. That makes the difference. So please, as he was talking, I hope you all jotted something down, because I have really been motivated, and I hope you also be motivated. Amen. So our next guest speaker is DO3 Kofi Hammond. He is the supervisor for Ghana National Service. With a hand of applause, let's welcome DO3 Kofi Sapon.
Right. The Honorable Felix Akwete, the Member of Parliament for Otiano English and Manfrom. I salute you, sir. Reps from Sunda Ghana Limited, reps from the business community of Ghana, and fellow entrepreneurs. I say good evening to you all. This will be a presentation by the Ghana National Fire Service on strategies to sustain businesses in the 24-hour economy. It's a PowerPoint presentation, so I don't know whether the slides are ready. But before we start, let me have a brief introduction about myself and some other officers that I have here. My name is DO3 Kofi Bensi Hammond. I am the officer in charge of training Weja Fire Station, and I am the rep for our beautiful commander, DO1 Judith Akokre. She has to attend other equally important matters, so she wasn't able to be here today. But nonetheless, she extends her greetings to all of us. She says, good evening. Aside that, I'm also here with my other able officers, ADO Wisdom Gidimajo. He is a safety officer. He's here with us. And he will also be taking part of the presentation as well. I don't know whether my positioning is okay for the presentation because I may cover a large portion of the screen. So I don't know whether the podium can be moved to probably this side so that I can see, or my audience can see what I'll be presenting. Exactly. Yes. Move to the side. Bring it forward a little. And tilt it forward. Yes. Very well. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for the assistance. So as you can see on the screen, our slides are ready. So I believe that we can start with the presentation. I know that our national team is playing today, and we wish them all the best. I beg your pardon, try as much as possible to let your mind be on what you are doing, because it's equally very, very, very important. I know by God's grace, and I know that Pastor has also prayed, so we'll win tonight. All right. So, strategies for protecting businesses in the 24-hour economy. Exactly. And then I've done the introduction already. Myself and then my safety officer will be doing the presentation. So this is the scope of the presentation. So we have first the introduction. I'll talk about the legal framework with which the Ghana National Fire Service works. We just don't get up and then do anything that we want. We work with the law. We'll also look at what is the 24-hour economy. And then we'll go on to the importance of fire safety in a 24-hour economy. And then we'll move on to the main reason why we are here, the strategies for protecting businesses against fire in a 24-hour economy. But before we look at the strategies are 5 in number. Before we look at the strategies, we'll look at some baseline requirements that every business is supposed to have. And once we look at those baseline requirements, we'll move on to looking at the strategies individually. And then we'll have the conclusion, and that will be the end of the presentation. So let's move on. All right, so the Ghana National Fire Service Act 1997, Act 537, mandates the service to prevent and manage unwanted fires. So that is the core mandate of the Ghana National Fire Service. And it is imbibed in the Ghana National Fire Service Act 1997. So this is the legal framework with which our service was formulated. And it is also the legal framework with which we operate. So as I told you earlier on, we don't just get up and then do anything that we want. We operate within the remit of the laws of Ghana. Now, there are 2 key words that have been highlighted here. The first word that I made mention of is prevent. Prevent. Now, how do we prevent? Now, we do this through public fire safety education and training. So that is when we go out to schools, hospitals, factories, shopping malls, filling stations, and then go and teach them that don't do this, do this. If you do this, fire will occur. We also teach them on how to use the fire extinguisher properly. I believe that if I should bring a fire extinguisher here right now and then say that let us do a demonstration, it will be wonders here. Yes. So it is part of our mandate to make sure that we do that education and training as well. So that is the first part. So we do the first one to do the prevention. So now, another key word that has been highlighted there is the manage. What do we manage? We manage the unwanted fires. So when we do the prevention or the education, and then still it happens that there is a fire outbreak, we do also come in and then do the management. So how do we do the management? Through firefighting and rescue operations. So that is when you see our fire tender with a siren on, going up and down, responding to emergencies. So that is the second aspect of our operations. But it is very, very unfortunate that most Ghanaians see the second aspect of our operations more and think that so far as there is no emergency, it means that the fire officers are at the station, they are not doing anything. That is not the case. If the second part of our operations is not happening, then it means that we are actively involved in the first part, which is the public fire safety education and training. So let's get that very clear. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. All right, so what is the 24-hour economy? I believe that I will not be the only person to define this, since this program is mainly about the 24-hour economy. But this is my small definition of it. This is an economic system where businesses operate continuously throughout the day and night. Please, let's go back. All right. No, let's go back. Exactly. Okay. So such businesses include the manufacturing firms like Sunda, shopping malls. We have China Mall, EU Chinatown, West Hills as well. Restaurants and food courts, you can name them. Barcelos and co. Hospitals, hotels, fuel stations, warehouses, transportation hubs, etc. So all these types of businesses can be found in the 24-hour economy. All right, great. Why is it that we have to talk about fire safety in a 24-hour economy? Why should it be so? Now, increased operating hours increases fire risk. Increased operating hours increases fire risk. This is very important. Now, why am I saying this? Now, for example, let's say that you are operating a small office or a bank, or you have a place where you do photocopies and then graphic design and all that, which is very common in our part of the world. Now, in such a business, what are some of the electronic appliances that will be working? So you have your laptops and your desktops on. You will have your air conditioning on. You will have your TV on. You have your printers, your photocopier machines. All these machines will be on. And all these machines, they make use of electricity. And then you'll be losing them for the long period in the 24-hour economy. Now, electricity in fire science is heat energy. And in fire science, for fire to occur, there should be heat present. So there's a potential for fire to occur. Now, let's say that you are also doing manufacturing. You are into large-scale manufacturing. Now, what are some of the tools or equipment that you'll be using? In manufacturing, you don't make use of light tools and equipment. You use heavily industrialized tools and equipment, such that you don't even have to plug them by the normal sockets that we know around. You have to get their power directly from the control board, because these machines for manufacturing, they require a lot of power. So in such an instance, you need to be wary and you need to be fire safety conscious. Now, let me talk about the restaurants and the food courts as well. Now, the restaurants and the food courts, what do they make use of? They make use of gas. So there's a risk of gas leakages. They also make use of electric stoves. If probably they don't want to use a gas, they opt for electric stoves. So that is also electricity. Electricity is heat energy, and heat should be present for fire to occur. So they should be very wary about fires. Now, that is the reason why we need to be very fire safety conscious when it comes to the 24-hour economy, because all these businesses are operating for longer periods. The tools and equipment that they use are going to be on for very long periods, so they need to be very fire safety conscious. The one operating my slides is not following up properly for me. I think we are past the stage. Let's move on. Yes, so we are here. No, go back. Yes. Please, until I tell you to go to the next slide, you just be where you are. Okay. So this therefore requires enhanced fire prevention and emergency preparedness, which I've already spoken about. Now, being fire safety conscious ensures business continuity and minimizes economic losses. That is very, very important. So if you are fire safety conscious, if you are making sure that you are adhering to fire safety measures that have been put in place, what you are doing in actual fact is that you are ensuring that your business operates in the foreseeable future. And if your business operates in the foreseeable future, it means that there will be no job losses. People are going to keep their jobs, I beg your pardon. And when people are keeping their jobs, it means that they'll be able to pay taxes. And if they are paying taxes, it means that government revenue is going to increase. So in all, it's going to increase the economic growth of the country. So let us take note of that. All right, next slide. All right, so these are examples of fire outbreaks. These are not just some random photographs that I picked from the internet. These are actual Ghanaian fires. These are Ghana-based fires. So the one on the top left is the fire that happened at Atomic in 2017. The guy doesn't want me to present. Yes, so the one on the top left is the fire that happened at Atomic. You can see the blurb right there. It was really a very serious fire. They operated a gas depot, and that is what happened. The one in the middle is the fire that happened at Edum in Kumasi. You can see how damaging that was also. And then the one on the far right is the June 3rd disaster, which claimed a lot of lives. The one on the bottom is the fire that happened at Kantamanto, where they sell second-hand clothing and a whole lot of items as well. The one in the middle is the fire that happened at Wager Junction at Shekia Plastics. They are into rubber manufacturing. It happened late last year, around October. Yeah, so that is the one in the middle. And the one at the bottom right is the fire that happened at the police depot about 2 weeks ago. So you can see the devastating effects of fire in all these pictures that I've brought here. Let us try and be fire safety conscious. Yeah. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so these are some burnt victims. The two on the top are victims from the June 3rd disaster. Natural fact, some of the pictures are even very, very gory that I wasn't able to add them to the presentation. They are not a pleasant sight to watch. In fact, when we go on emergencies, the kinds of scenes that we see, if I should show them to you, it wouldn't be a very good thing. Some of the pictures are really, really that bad. So you can see that they are being deformed for life. All right. Next slide, please. All right, so the main thing why we are here. Strategies for protecting businesses against fire in a 24-hour economy. All right, so next slide. I spoke about some baseline requirements that every business should have, or some foundational requirement that every business should have. We'll look at those first, and then we'll go into the nitty-gritty of matters. Now, so this is the first baseline requirement. In accordance with the Fire Precautionary Regulations 2003 LI 1724, now this is the legislative instrument that governs fire safety in Ghana. A lot of people may not know this, but this law is the law that governs fire safety in Ghana. If you want a copy, you can go to Ghana Publishing Limited, located close to Accra Technical University. You can get copies there. They have all laws of Ghana, so you can get a copy there. Now, according to this law, a new business must be issued a fire permit before construction. Listen to the wording carefully. A new business, we are talking about businesses. A new business must be issued a fire permit before construction. So you can see the fire permit in red. It tells you how important or how serious I mean it. Now, what is a fire permit? Now, a fire permit is a temporary document issued to authorize the commencement of building construction once fire safety requirements are met. So, if I'm talking about fire safety requirements, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the size of your doorway. Is it too small, such that when there's a fire outbreak, people cannot pass through? We will look at that. I am talking about the length or the height of your stairs. Is it such that when you take one step, by the time you take another step, you can break your leg in a fire emergency? No. We will look at it. We will also consider how your doors open in a business. How your doors open. In Ghana, when you are doing any form of construction, or when you are undertaking any building construction, your doors are supposed to open on the inside. You are supposed to move inside with a door. In your building plan, is that how it is? We check all these things. Now, aside that, we also make sure that we verify whether you have made provisions for fire safety equipment like fire extinguishers or smoke detectors. So we check all these things. Now, once we check all these things and we are satisfied with what's in them, then we issue you the fire permit. Now, the purpose of the permit is to mitigate fire risk in the design and construction stages. So in the very, very, very beginning, we are making sure that you are on your toes when it comes to fire safety. We will not wait for you till you build or you finish building the business before we ensure fire safety. In the very beginning, at the foundational stages, we are ensuring that. So that is with the fire permit. So how do you obtain the fire permit? Somebody may ask me. So submit your building plan or your architectural drawings for your business to any nearby fire station. So if you find yourself in, let's say, Kokrobite here, the fire station that you are supposed to send it to is Weja Fire Station. Normally, if I say Weja Fire Station, a lot of people think that it's some fire station located inside Weja somewhere. Our station is inside SEC. Yes, that's where it is. It is not located at Old Weja, no. It's inside SEC. So don't get confused if I say Weja Fire Station, okay? So if you find yourself, let's say, in Kaswa somewhere, we have Kaswa Underbridge Fire Station as well. You can go there. The officers there will assist you with a fire permit. If you find yourself in La Paz, Anya, Awoshi, and the environs, you can go to Anya Fire Station, and then they will also assist you with that. So that is that with the fire permit. All right, let's move on. So the next one is the baseline requirement 2, and then that is the fire certificate. So, okay, so this is the sample fire permits. All right, so for those of you who may not have seen a fire permit before, this is a sample fire permit, okay? It usually comes in a colored yellow paper, okay? Because you had to photocopy this, so that is why you see it as white like that. All right, it's a very sensitive document. That is why I've blurred out certain parts of it. All right, so the reference number, the address of the premises, and then it also states what the premises is being used for. It's stated there. And then we have the signature of our original commander, very active there. So I've blurred out all those parts. So that is that. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. All right, so this is the second baseline requirement. So we are done with the first one. The first one had to do with the fire permits. So this is the second baseline requirement. So in accordance with the same law that I made mention of, the LI 1724, which regards fire precautionary regulations, it also stipulates that a business which is established must have a fire certificate. There's a difference between the fire certificate and the fire permit. We'll get to see the difference very soon. So now, what is the fire certificate? This is the final official document confirming that the completed building fully meets all the fire safety codes. This is the final official document confirming that the completed building that you are done with fully meets all the fire safety codes. So we first issue you the fire permits, and we give you the benefit of the doubt that, okay, so this is what you have promised that you will do. You will install fire extinguishers in them. You will make sure you have smoke alarms. We check your building plan. We saw that maybe the size of your doorway is too small, so expand it a little bit. We also realized that there are no adequate means of escape when there's a fire outbreak where people will pass and escape. We saw in your building plan that it is not that adequate. So we told you that do those corrections before you complete the building. Now you have completed a building. We came back and then we came to check. All these things that we told you in the fire permit stage, have you done them? If you have done them, hallelujah. We issue you with a fire certificate. If you have not, we don't do it. We will not issue you with a fire certificate. So get the difference. I hope you are okay. Yes. Now, if the premises pass, just like I stated, a certificate is issued, which is valid for 1 year, requiring regular renewal. It is valid for 1 year, requiring regular renewal. So if you do your certificates, for example, we are in June. If you do it last year, if you did it last year, 2025, by June this year, it might have expired. So you need to renew it again. And the renewal comes with a fee. But don't worry, it's something that you can afford. Because all our fees are in accordance with the Fees and Charges Act of Ghana. Okay, so it's something that is regulated. You just can't get up and then give you a fee that you cannot write home about. Okay? All right. So that is that on that. So how do you obtain the fire certificate as well? Submit your building plan to the fire station. For example, somebody may be asking me that, what if your business is using a rented premises? You don't have to build it from scratch. So in this case, you submit the building plan of where you are renting out. If it's available, fine, you can submit it. If it is not, the fire officers themselves will come there for inspection. Measure the floor area, check your means of escape, check whether there are adequate firefighting tools and equipment there before we issue you the fire certificates. So that is the difference. So get that. Okay. Now, that is not all with fire certificates. There are some important things that you have to take note of. We have classifications of fire certificates. They come in classifications. Okay? Now, we have the low-risk fire certificates. That is for small offices, for banks, and for clothing stores. These places, the risk of fire outbreak is very, very minimal. So that is why it has been classified as low risk. We also have the medium risk. We have restaurants, cafes, shopping malls, and light manufacturing premises. Okay, somebody may ask me that, what is light manufacturing premises? We can classify a place like Accra Brewery Limited as heavily industrialized places or heavy manufacturing premises. And you can contrast that vis-a-vis with a pure water manufacturing premises. You can see the difference. Yes. So somebody who has rented a small place that is doing pure water manufacturing, about 1 or 2 machines, the person doesn't even have a warehouse. after cutting the pure water, just by the corner somewhere, he packs the bags of pure water. So that is light manufacturing. But a place like Accra Brewery Limited, where they do club and all that, that is a very big place. And the fire load in those places is very huge. So there's a big difference in that. So let's get that also. And then we have the high risk classification. The high risk classification. And these businesses entail fuel stations, oil and gas depots, alcohol factories like I mentioned, and chemical manufacturing plants. So chemical manufacturing plants like Kojak Pharmaceuticals, I beg your pardon, and then Pharmatrust Pharmaceuticals as well, and what other pharmaceutical company do you know in Ghana again? So all these fall under the chemical manufacturing plants as well. Okay. So consequences of not being certified. So what happens if I decide that I don't want to certify my place? So there are legal ramifications of it as well. So it comes with legal sanctions. Okay. We'll use the LI and then prosecute you. Okay. So that is when you see our officers moving around businesses and closing them down. We have the authority to do that. And our able chief fire officer, CFO, Madam Mausi Into, has said that we will start that very soon. So if you are here and you're operating a business and you know that your fire certificate is not up to date, kindly renew it before we start the operations. Okay. There is also the risk of hazards. Now, the fire certificate is to protect you yourself from fire outbreaks. And if you don't have it, it means that you are not that fire safety conscious. So you are exposing yourself to fire hazards in this instance. So make sure that you get a certificate. Insurance voidance as well. There are some insurance companies that will not insure your company if you don't have a fire certificate. I'm not talking about roadside insurance companies. The very notable ones. They will not insure your company against fire if you don't have a fire certificate. So that is it with the fire certificates. And I will end my presentation here for my safety officer to continue with the actual strategies that is involved. I want to say thank you very much.
Good evening to you all. And thank you very much, my senior colleague. I'm standing on already established protocols. I would like to proceed. I hope I have your permission to do so. Thank you. So the one who is regulating the presentation, can you move to the next slide? So that is a typical example of a fire certificate. So when you go through all the processes and you are issued with one, that is how it looks like. Next slide. Okay, so we would like to share with you some of the strategies that we have or we will put in place in order to be able to support the 24-hour economy that is so dear to the heart of the government. Like my senior colleague said, if businesses are operating during the day, the risk that they are, exposed to increases should the number of hours of work also increase to 24 hours. It means you are working around the clock, and therefore everything, doubles. So the first strategy, we are looking at fire risk assessment. Now, this is the evaluation of a building and its activity designed to identify potential fire hazards. We evaluate the risk and determine the necessary fire safety measures needed to minimize those risks. So, Currently, what we are doing in our municipalities, that is Weja, Bawe, and then Gas South, is that we have visited various organizations, like some manufacturing companies, some hotels, and so on, and issued letters to them where we go to conduct what we call the fire risk assessment. And these are the things that we look at during that process, after which we issue a report to the business concerned so that you know where you are doing well in terms of fire safety and where you also have to up your game. We look at the electrical systems because most fires are associated with electricity. Our investigations, usually reveal that. So we check your electrical systems to see how well, they have been done and whether qualified materials have been used in that regard. We do this because, you see, a lot of places, let me just throw our minds to a place like Cantamanto, where they sell a lot of clothing, and year in, year out, we have fire outbreaks there. When you go to a place like that, you are very likely to see a lot of exposed conductors or wires, and that is a risk that they have been exposed to. Then we see a situation where one shop has meter, maybe a single phase meter. Then shop B taps from shop A. Shop C taps from shop B, and the chain goes on. What happens is that you are overloading the system. You are putting too much pressure on, one particular meter. It starts melting, and before you realize, there is fire. And the rest of the story we know. Apart from that also, we see a situation where people do illegal connections. So if our assessment reveals so, we would caution you first, and then we'll use the necessary procedures to, bring you to book like has already been stated. Then also these connections, the way they are done, using non-professionals, to some electricians who do not really know the business they are into, they think that every wire is a wire. So once they tap power from this shop to the next, they don't care what wire they are using. Every wire has its level of resistance and carrying capacity. So if we have electricians here, you know that we have the 1.5 mm, we have the 2.5, 3.5, and so on. So one shop is tapping with 2.5, another is tapping with 1.5, and so on. Then you see that, the power that is passing through the wire is too much for it. It gets very hot because electricity is always associated with heat. Before you realize there is an outbreak of fire. Then even apart from that, the various joints, somebody is using sellotape, the normal sellotape, instead of what the electricians normally use to insulate that place. We see plasters. Okay, somebody uses plaster and a lot of wonderful things that we see when you go to do such assessments. And you can just see the kind of risks that they are exposing themselves to. We also look at storage practices. When you move into a warehouse, for instance, how do they do their storage? Now, for instance, if we look at this place as a warehouse, we do not advise that you pack your wares to the wall, very close to the wall, attached to it, for very good reasons. Assuming this is one warehouse and then there is an adjoining building, in case there is fire there and you have curtains packed very close to this wall, heat is transferred through conduction, radiation, and convection. So because this wall is very close to where the fire is, heat to be transferred to the wall. And there you have packed a lot of curtains. So even though you have not set actual fire here, by virtue of heat transfer, you will have fire in your warehouse. So there should be some gap there. Then we don't also advise that you pack your things all the way to the ceiling. All right? So these are all things that we look out for. When your things are also properly demarcated such that you have lanes that you can easily access the warehouse. These are all things that we check. Then your means of escape. How big is your means of escape? Such that if there is an emergency, we are all able to what? Evacuate safely. We check that during that process. Then also your fire loading. When we talk about fire loading, we are referring to the items that can easily burn in case of fire. So for instance, in your factory, your office, wherever, apart from the essentials that you need, you have things that should not be there, like curtains, empty curtains, you have polythenes and so on and so forth. So a clothing shop, after you have taken your clothing out from the curtains, you dispose them off, you don't leave them there. The more you pack them there when there is fire, the more the fire has food to feed on, and then it grows bigger. So we look at all these. Next slide. So our second strategy, that is strengthening fire protection systems. So here we are referring to employing effective and efficient systems to detect and suppress fires at their early stages. What are the importance of these? Now, when you are able to intervene quickly during a fire outbreak, of course, we know that that will be a timely emergency response. Fire grows just like a human being. You are a baby, you become an adolescent, you become a fully grown adult, and then, unfortunately, you will die. Now, that is how fire behaves. So it starts from what we call the incipient stage, when it is very small. It gets to the growth stage where it's becoming bigger, and then the fully developed stage, at which point very little can be done. Then, even if nothing is done, it will gradually die off by itself if there is no intervention. Now, when we also intervene quickly, we will minimize property damage, and I'm sure that is very self-explanatory. If you are able to deal with very small fires, it doesn't grow, and therefore your property remains what? Intact, and our businesses will not suffer a great deal. It would also ensure business continuity. Sometime last year we had a fire outbreak at Wager Junction. My senior colleague spoke about that. And then when you go into it, that one fire, the number of families it has affected, all the employees had to be laid off. So you can imagine the impact of that on the family. And then the business owner as well. If unfortunately your business is not insured, you can imagine how long it will take you to bounce back. Then it will also ensure legal and regulatory compliance. Of course, we are operating within a regulatory framework. And therefore, when you put all these measures in place, the law will be your friend. Okay. Let's look at the third strategy. Strategy 3, please. Okay, let's go to the next slide. No, let's go back. Back. Okay, next slide, front. Good. So you can see these are firefighting equipment that we have, fire extinguishers, and then how, effectively it can be deployed. If we should ask here, our business owners, how many of you have these basic firefighting equipment installed in your companies? I I am not sure everybody has. So if you do not have one, you can just speak to us after the session, and then we'll help you out. But it's not only fire extinguishers that we call firefighting equipment. Let's move on to the next slide. We have things like so you have the call point and the sounder. Okay, the one in the middle there is what we call the sounder. The extreme to my right is the call point. So in case in an organization there is an outbreak of fire, you break that glass, you press it, and then it gives off a loud alarm. So everybody in the building knows that there is an outbreak and is able to get out of the premises. All right. So these are what we call smoke detectors. Next slide. These are sprinklers. It's automated. So if there is fire, it kicks in and begins fighting the fire by itself. Okay, that's a hose reel, also a firefighting device. Okay. So fire safety education and training. So what we do, just like we are doing here, is that we are giving you some education, isn't it? And then we go to organization and also train them on some of these things, the hazards that fire can pose and the likes. And then also on how to handle the fire extinguishers. Because if we should bring an extinguisher here, I wonder how many people can use it effectively. Okay. So I'll end by talking about the nighttime fire safety patrols. This is something that is already ongoing, and then with the onset of the 24-hour economy, we would enhance it further. So in the night, what we do is that we patrol various places, various important installations, like the markets. You see our men there in the night, sometimes with even the appliance, a tender, so that in case there is an outbreak, we can quickly deal with it. And then when you have your organizations, because you'll be operating 24 hours, we'll help you to set up what we call the fire wardens in-house within the organization, so that they will also be able to monitor such systems. In case there is an outbreak, they can quickly deal with the situation or liaise with us so that we can come in as appropriate. Next slide. So just to conclude, a fire-free business environment is very possible, and a successful 24-hour economy depends on effective fire safety management. If you build up a business and it is ravaged by fire, then what have you done? So we play a very critical role in the prevention, preparedness, response, and recovery of, these situations. Next slide. So these are our numbers. For those who do not have the fire service contacts, or you do not know who to contact in case of an outbreak, you can just quickly capture these numbers and call us anytime you are in distress. All right? So the first one is the Wager Fire Station, which I advise all of you to have because it is very prompt and will respond quickly. Then we have our Fire Master Control, that is our headquarters at Osu. So when you call there, wherever the fire is, will be redirected to the closest fire station to kick in. Then we also have the 192 and 112. At least, if you cannot keep these in your head, as a 192, it will be very easy to remember. 192, 112. Next slide. And I think that is to wish you a fire-free working environment in the 24-hour economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Video1 Wisdom Gedemajo. That was a very educated presentation. Okay, on to the next. In 2026, one of the smartest financial decisions you can do for yourself is to open an account. whether it's a personal account or a business account. It is one of the smartest decisions you can do for yourself, where you can keep your money, and even having a bank account opens you to certain opportunities. So take this opportunity. We have First Atlantic Bank behind us. Open an account, you can exit yourself. Open an account with them. They'll take just your information and then they'll follow up with them. Thank you. Okay, on to the next speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a businessman in our midst. Oh, we have a businessman in our midst. We also have a member of parliament in our midst. This man is an alumnus of the University of Ghana, holding an MBA and a degree in the University of Ghana, We have Honorable Felix Akwete, the MP of the Botiano Inkleshi Amanfrom constituency. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Not to forget, if you have any question, kindly jot them down. There will be a forum for plenary. If you have any question, just jot them down. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam NC. I never knew you know me like that. Because all what he said was not collected from me. Maybe you searched about me. It is becoming very interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. Yeah. When we talk about 24-hour economy, it is not only the factories, but this is a typical example of 24-hour economy. I would like to stand on the existing protocol. Distinguished guests, Honorable MC, representatives of Sunda Limited. It is a great honor to stand before you today on this very important subject, legislative and its implementation of 24-hour economy. And it lies within the context of Botiano English Amanfro constituency. And not only Botiano English Amanfro constituency, but wider Gan South municipality. The concept of a 24-hour economy presents a transformative opportunity for economic growth, job creation, increased productivity, and improved living standard. It seeks to maximize the use of economic assets, infrastructure, and human resource by extending productivity activities beyond the traditional working hours. However, for this vision to succeed, it must be supported by a strong legislative and regulatory framework that promotes investment, safeguard workers, ensure public safety, and protect the environment. At the constituency and municipal level, the success of 24-hour economy would depend largely on how effectively we align local development strategies with national policies, existing laws, and municipal bylaws. The legislative environment must create certainty for investors and businesses whilst ensuring that economic activities remain orderly and beneficial to the community. For Botiano English Amanfro, the opportunities are numerous. Our consistency possesses strategic advantage, including expanding residential communities, thriving commercial activities, tourism potential along the coastal belt, and the growing youthful population eager for employment opportunities. The 24-hour economy can stimulate sectors such as transportation, hospitality, fisheries, agro-processing, retail trade, education, healthcare, and digital services. To achieve this, we must strengthen collaboration between the municipal assembly, local businesses, traditional authorities, security agencies, community stakeholders, community stakeholders. Municipal bylaws must be reviewed where necessary to support extended businesses operation whilst maintaining standards relating to noise making, sanitation, public safety, environment protection, and land use planning. Furthermore, infrastructure development remains critical. Roads, street lighting, electricity supply, water system, digital connectivity, and security services are essential enablers of the functioning 24-hour economy. Legislative support at the both national and local level should prioritize investments in the areas to ensure business can operate effectively, efficiently, and safely throughout the day and night. Legislative framework must also support small and medium-sized enterprises, which form the backbone of the local economy. Through enabling regulations, access to finances, tax incentives, skills development programs, and simplified business registration process, enterprises or entrepreneurs can be empowered to expand operations and create sustainable development opportunities for our youth. Additionally, labor laws and workplaces regulations must be carefully implemented to protect workers engaged in shift system and night-time operations. Economic growth should never come at the expense of a worker. Occupational safety or fair remunerations, a balanced legislative approach will ensure that productivity and social protection advance together. As a leader and a stakeholder within the Botiano English Amanfro, we have a collective responsibility to ensure that the 24-hour economy becomes a practical development strategy rather than a mere policy aspiration. This requires deliberate planning, effective legislation, responsible enforcement, and active community participation. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of the municipality depends on our ability to create an enabling environment where business can thrive, investment can flourish, and opportunity can reach every household. By aligning our municipal development agenda with the legislative framework supporting the 24-hour economy, we can position Botiano English Amanfro as a model consistency for inclusive growth, innovation, and sustainable development. Let us, therefore, work together as government, private sector, traditional leaders, civil society, and citizens to build a constituency that is productive, competitive, secure, and prosperous around the clock. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and may our collective effort bring lasting development to Botiano English Amanfro, and not only Botiano English Amanfro, but the Ghana South Municipality. God bless our consistency, God bless Ghana, and God bless us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Felix Akwete. Okay. We are moving to the next session. Without wasting my time, let's call Minister Isaac Hammond to give us ministration as the program continues. Let's give it up for him as he's coming.
Yes, this is our time for listening to short music whilst we go on with the program. Shattered when I know other. You made a way when there's no way. You took my darkness into light. I went to that. You put food on my table, Daddy. You come for me when I was lost. And who can be compared unto you? You gave me shattered heart, no other. You made a way when there's no way. You turned my darkness into light. I went to that. Daddy, you comfort me when I was lost. And who can be compared unto you? I will do that, I will do that, Baba. Oh, let me hear from you. I will do that, let do my way. Let me hear you. Eshe, Eshe, Oluwa, Eshe, Baba, oh, Eshe, Oluwa, Eshe, Eshe. Baba, can I hear from you? Listen, you gave me shelter when I know other. You made a way when there's no way. You turned my darkness into light. You put food on my table, Daddy. You comfort me when I was lost. And who can be compared unto you? You gave me shelter when I know other. You made a way when there's no way. You turned my darkness into light. You put food on my table, Daddy. You comfort me when I was lost. And who can be compared unto you? Oh, let me hear from you. I will do that, Baba. I will do that, let do my way. Hashe, Hashe, Oluwa, Hashe. Baba, oh, Hashe, Oluwa, Awa, Hashe, Hashe, Oluwa, Hashe, Baba, oh, Hashe, Oluwa, Awa, Dube, Mama ta Hashe, Hashe, Oluwa, Hashe, Baba, oh, Hashe, Oluwa, Awa, Dube, Baba. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, they say leadership is not just about holding a position. Leadership is about making a difference. Our next speaker is someone who is dedicated into changing the lives of people in this constituency. This person who's an MPhil in the UCC, got the University of Cape Coast, and this person is no other than the MCE of the constituency. With a round of applause, let's welcome Honorable Moses Kabu Kubi.
Thank you very much. University of Cape Coast is the best university in Africa, the best university in West Africa, the best university in Ghana. And the rest are just followers, you know. Thank you very much. Our conference host, Reverend Eric Amankwano, our Member of Parliament for Botiano English Amanfrom, Chief Directors from government agencies here present, distinguished entrepreneurs and inventors, esteemed resource persons, traditional authorities and opinion leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am very humbled and honored this evening to be part of this August meeting and to deliver the welcome address. To begin with, let me doff my hat to the conference host, who doubles as the local economic development subcommittee chairman of the Gan South Municipal Assembly, Reverend Eric Amankwano. For this initiative, Reverend, God richly bless you for the passion and resources in putting this forum together. Distinguished entrepreneurs, the theme for this forum, sustainable businesses with divine strategy, in my honest assessment, is very apt, relevant, and timely. This is because it brings to the fore two critical realities which are very pivotal in the business ecosystem: the need for sustainability and divine guidance in the world of businesses. First, the concept of sustainability points to the fact that all entrepreneurs must have the desire not only to start a business, but also to think of innovative ways to enable the businesses to last, grow, employ people, and serve communities for years to come. The second concept, which has to do with the need for divine energy, divine strategy in the business environment, also underscores the principle that no matter how brilliant an entrepreneur may be, success still requires ethical leadership, favor, and guidance beyond human strength. This is expressed better in the book of Psalm 127, verse 1, which stipulates that except the Lord build the house. In the context of businesses, we shall put it like this: except the Lord build the business, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman, who is the entrepreneur, workers but in vain. Quote and unquote. It is important to state that although we need divine strategy, that should not be seen as a replacement for hard work, but rather as direction to strengthen our resolve to build a successful businesses to glorify the Lord. Therefore, divine strategy should shape how we think, how we plan, how we serve customers, and how we position businesses to withstand challenges such as competition, economic shocks, and operational setbacks. As entrepreneurs, this is the relevance of this forum, and I therefore will want to emphasize that we do not just see this opportunity as just one of the many meetings we attend or another kind of gathering, but we should embrace this as an important platform to discuss timely and relevant business ideas necessary to build enterprises that are profitable and principled and also establish businesses that can stand the test of time. Distinguished entrepreneurs, as the Municipal Chief Executive, I am particularly excited about this forum because it provides a platform to prepare you as entrepreneurs and investors, both internally and externally, of the government of Ghana's 24-hour economy initiative, which in many estimations is timely opportunity for all entrepreneurs. For the records, let me unequivocally state that the Ghana South Municipal Assembly has already taken the bold step to commence the 24-hour economy within the municipality. With support from the members of parliament and the traditional authorities, I am happy to state that we have acquired acres of land to begin the construction work for the 24-hour economy within the Domiabra Obon constituency. Currently, the design stage of the project is completed, and the Ghana South Municipal Assembly has handed over the site for the contractor to begin work as soon as possible. The project, when completed, is expected to create over 500 direct and indirect opportunities for the youth, market women, artisans, and professionals within the locality. For you as entrepreneurs, the 24-hour economy is an invitation to help your business to grow and expand your operations beyond the normal times and seasons. This is the time to begin asking yourself these questions. 1, how can we add value at different times of the day? 2, how can we extend services to customers who are busy or unable to visit during standard hours? 3, how do we organize our operations to support productivity, security, and service delivery throughout the day? Let me take this opportunity to clearly state that, contrary to what people are saying, the 24-hour economy initiative is not a cliche, but a major opportunity, and I want to encourage all entrepreneurs here present in sectors such as retail, food and beverages, hospitality, transport services, logistics, repairs and maintenances, digital services, sanitation-related businesses, and many other value chains to begin to take full advantage of these initiatives by adapting business models that are time flexible and customer friendly and service oriented, always within the boundaries of law and good corporate practices. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important that I add that beyond national directives, the Ghana South Municipal Assembly is also committed to institutionalizing support for the private sector. Currently, I have put up a team to organize the first ever business and investment forum for the municipality. This is not just going to be a one-off event, but a deliberate platform to 1, galvanize private sector participation, 2, strengthen public-private dialogue, 3, connect investors with municipal opportunities, 4, stimulate partnerships and business groups, and finally, create a predictable environment for investment decisions. By holding this forum regularly, we demonstrate our belief that when government and the private sector work together consistently and respectfully, our shared goal of building a prosperous city becomes achievable. As the municipal chief executive of this municipality, let me also assure you that the Municipal Assembly is committed to a friendly and business-minded policy environment. We understand that time is money for entrepreneurs and developers. Therefore, Where possible and within due process, the Assembly supports efficient collaboration with investors. For instance, we will continue to encourage and facilitate measures such as acquiring building permits early for developers so that investors can plan properly, reduce delays, and accelerate project implementations. This is part of our commitment to improve the ease of doing business in Gansouth Municipality, because development thrives when procedures are clear, timely, and supportive. Finally, let me entreat all participants to take this 3-day conference very seriously and encourage you to fully participate in it. I appeal to all participants to feel free to network and seek innovative and creative ideas to sustain and expand your businesses. I am confident that a year by this time, the lessons and takeaways of this forum will expand and grow your businesses. Once again, I welcome you all to this important forum. It is my honor, therefore, on behalf of the Gansouth Municipal Assembly, to declare this meeting officially opened. May God bless you all, and may your deliberations today be fruitful. Thank you.
So much, Honorable Kabu Kubi. Okay, so we have our media teams available. We have Kesben TV, Kesben Online, TV3, GTV, and UTV. Let's give it up for them. Enjoy business too. Enjoy business too. Let's give it up for them. Okay, so it's time for the plenary, right? If you have any question you want to ask, someone is saying, I want to ask the MP, but he is not here. He will be available on Friday. So if you have any question, you can ask him, reserve it for Friday. He will be here to answer everything. Without wasting my time, let's call Minister Isaac to give us song ministration to prepare for the plenary. Let's give it up for him.
From the earth to the sky, Lord, I You walked upon the sea, you raised the dead. You reign in majesty, mighty God. Everything written about you is great. Say, you are great, yes, you are holy one. You walked upon the sea, you raised the dead. You reign in majesty, mighty God. Everything about you is great. Somebody say, you are great, 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 you are great. Oh yeah, you are great. Say, you are great, you are great, you are great. Everything written about you, it's great. You are great, you are great, you are great, you are great, you are great. Oh, you are great, you are
Ladies and gentlemen, a hand of applause. Let's welcome Mr. Sammy Koba, a research scientist, as he take us through the plenary. Oh, let's give it up for him.
Good evening. Good evening, Honorable MC. Good evening, Pastor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited to be here tonight. I'm very happy to be part of this program. We thank all of you for finding time to be here to participate in this program. We have some few questions for our speakers, and I would like to start with Honorable MC. Honorable, thank you for the presentation. It was a very powerful one. Yeah, I loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, you all agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, business tycoons, captains of industry over here, business magnates, you all agree with me that in every society or community or in every nation, roads are very important. Because when you are transporting your goods and services, you do that on the roads. When you are transporting human beings, you transport them on the roads. Fire services here, they just spoke about the importance of, fire safety and timely intervention when it comes to fire outbreak and all that. When the roads are bad, how swiftly can the fire service personnel intervene to get the fire quenched? It's a big problem. Our roads are very, very, very bad in this municipality. Very terrible, Honorable. And we are talking about 24-hour economy. We are talking about business empowerment. We are talking about business growth. How do we grow businesses when the enabling environment is not there? So we would like to find out from you tonight, what are you doing? What are the immediate actionable steps you have put in place to ensure that our roads are fixed so that businesses can thrive, so that fire service can quickly move and intervene whenever there's a fire outbreak, so that when somebody is critically ill and is supposed to be transported to the hospital, ambulance can swiftly move and transport sick people to the hospital? What are the immediate actions that are being put in place to ensure that our roads are fixed within the next few days?
Thank you very much. I expected this question. I expected it. And it's just like an apple dropping. Yes, all of us seated here today will attest to the fact that when I took over, the roads were better than it used to be. We, day in, day out, reshape the roads to make them more travel for our people in the community. People can attest to this. It is rather unfortunate that the rains came in and the roads are not good again. The immediate strategy we took was to reshape them to make them more travel, because most of the roads in the municipality, when we are talking of the municipality, it's not only English Amanfro constituency. The municipality spans from here to Adesu, where we share boundary, here to Nsawam Adrajiri, where we share boundary. Very huge municipality. And when you come to this part of the municipality, even though our roads are not good, are very bad, the ones there, as we speak, roads have been cut off because the roads are not tarred ones. That is the gloomy picture of the kind of roads that we have in the municipality. But the reality is that when you walk around the municipality, you see that work is being done as compared to the previous. When you look at Botiano, English Amanfro to Langba, the roads are being constructed. As we speak, drains are being constructed before the asphalt is done. When you go to Kalabule, now being called New Mataiko, drains are being constructed towards the construction of the road. When you go to English Amanfro Senior High School, the road from the Mary Star to English Amanfro Senior High School and the adjoining roads around that area are being constructed. When you go to Domia Boom, the road from Ashalaja to Kokupanfu towards Insebri is also being constructed. The drains are being constructed. I have a video here. If there is time, I will show it to you. We are working very hard to make sure that our roads are not, quote and unquote, the red one as we see, but to move them from being red to black, which all of us here are yearning for. As an immediate effort, I know very well you ask me, what about the JEA Mills bypass? NDC constructed that route. When MPP came 8 good years, they never added a dime to it. They left it to rot because that project was not their baby. NDC came and the road is spoiled again. As we speak, myself and my honorable MP are in talks with the Minister of Roads and Highway, Urban Roads. They have packaged it for a contractor to come out and come and construct it. But waiting for the letter of authorization before he moved to the site. If he moved there right now, you'll see that there are heaps of sand from Aplaku coming until the rain set in, that we halted a bit. You could see that we have the populace at heart, and we are working very well to make sure that at least the challenges are tackled. If not all, at least the major ones can be tackled for us all to move on very good roads. Thank you.
Honorable, please, a quick follow-up question to that, a quick one. Regarding the barrier, Aplaku, Kokrobite Street.
Through Tuba. Please, you can use this. Give this.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable. Yeah, so from barrier through to Aplaku to Chokome, Botiano, Oshie, Kokrobite, that's a very critical road when it comes to especially local. When it comes to local tourism, because the beaches are all over at that side. Local tourism, very important. So can we have specific timelines? When is that road going to be fixed? We want specifics, please, with the greatest respect.
My brother, you know that I'm not the Minister of Finance to give you a specific date that the letter of clearance will be signed. You know that. I am not the Minister of Finance to append my signature. The commencement authorization is given by the Minister of Finance. Mine is to push for him to do it. And his is to determine when to append his signature to it. I am pushing for it to be done for my people to get a good route to drive on. Yes. As for the day and date for it to be done, I cannot tell today. But we are pushing. As I can confirm that it has been packaged for the contractor to come and work on it. But waiting for the commencement authorization to be signed for him to come to site. Okay. Because it's a principle of the current government that unless that letter of commencement authorization is signed, you don't move to site.
Okay. Your name first, please. Okay, let's finish first, and then we'll give you the opportunity to ask your questions, please. Kindly exercise some patience. So, Honorable's last question, and I'll come to fire service. Yeah. Honorable, this forum is for business empowerment, entrepreneurs. You will agree with me that one of the biggest challenges that businessmen and women face in this country is funding, financing. It's one of the biggest challenges. You go to the bank and they will say, go and bring collateral, bring this, bring that. It's a whole lot. I want to know from your side, you and the MP, do you have any package in terms of financing, in terms of funding to support distinguished businessmen and women in this constituency and municipality?
Thank you very much. As an assembly, we don't have a quota that will say we are putting it aside, that will give it out to people to put it into their businesses. But we are creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. That is why in my speech I made mention that before you start your business, you need to put up a structure. And that structure, you need a permit for it to be put. And when in those days, there is this bureaucratic ways of getting that permit being done, which we are saying that we are going to fast track it for that to be done. That notwithstanding, I know my president, His Excellency John, came up with a very big opportunity that was announced because of the 24-hour economy, that anyone that wants to operate within the environment of the 24-hour economy, there is an opportunity for the person to get a loan to push it into the business, to be able to expand the business and flourish. When that entity, that person, entrepreneur comes around and want to apply to access that government funding, that will help the person to acquire that loan. The assembly is there to help and facilitate that to be given to the person. But as an assembly, we don't have that fund where we can give to an entity to put into their business. But the government has that policy, which we are there to also help the people to access that.
Okay, thank you very much. Shall we give him a round of applause? Thank you, Honorable. So I really enjoyed your presentation. It was very, very insightful. But I was thinking probably you could do a brief practical demonstration to all of us. But there was no practical, nothing. It was just theory.
Okay,
Is there any reason for that?
If you want that done, it's not difficult. We have an operational man around. I believe that, Reverend, there are available fire extinguishers. Time, okay. So Reverend has given you the information on that. It wouldn't be difficult for us to do it, though. Yeah.
Okay. So my next question to the fire service personnel is as follows. When it comes to emergency response and accessibility, in the event of a fire emergency, what factors most often delay the fire services response? And what can communities, businesses, and property owners do to improve access and emergency response times?
All right, so thank you very much for that question. I'll start by saying that the primary appliance or the primary vehicle that we used in emergency response is the fire tender. And here is the case: our fire tenders are really, really worn out. The last time we had purchases from the government being given to us in the form of fire tenders was as far back as in 2014. I don't want to mention the president's because sometimes when you bring the names, you may sound a little bit political, so I don't want to mention names. Yes. So the fire tenders are really, really, really old. Now, when you are dealing with a vehicle that is that old, starting such a vehicle, you can only imagine. At certain times, it may start all right, but along the line, it may stop. So that poses a major challenge with emergency response. Another reason is that prank calls form a major part of the telephone phone calls that we receive. Prank calls. I would be very happy if I invite some of you to Fire Master Control and hear some of the kind of calls that comes in. Somebody may call and the person will use a very hoarse voice. You can clearly tell that the person is probably smoking or something. And then we tell the responder of the call that his beard is on fire. The fire service should come and extinguish it. It happens a lot. Now, another thing is that because most of the ladies that are found at our master control are, single ladies, we have men also trying to put across sexual innuendos. They will be like, can you come and satisfy me tonight and all that. So when you call and then you say all these kinds of things, and somebody is with a real emergency, who wants to get through to the fire service for an emergency response, how will the person get through to it? It poses a major challenge. So that is the second one. Now the third one is our own indiscipline on the road. Our fire tenders are supposed to move with a siren. A lot of people may say that, but when you go with siren. If you could just observe the way trot drivers deal with our drivers, it's an eyesore. They will hear the siren all right, but they would never give them the right of way, which is very terrible. So during my time of operations, I remember that we used to do something. We used to carry pure water sachets at the dashboard of the fire tender. Anytime that we meet somebody who is recalcitrant on the road, as soon as we overtake the driver, we throw that sachet water into the car and it will splash on the driver as a punishment for what he has done. Sometimes we get down, we confront the driver and all that. All these things waste the response time. So as citizens, we should be very, very wary of the siren or the fire service. Somebody may be in distress. He needs timely intervention. Time in emergency response is very crucial because the little time that you waste, somebody may lose his life. So let us be very disciplined when it comes to that. So these are the three factors that delays our response time. Thank you. My colleague may want to add something.
Yes, I just wanted to add a bit to what he has said. So a few of the things that also hamper our ability to get to fire scenes early. One of them, I think from the beginning, the host mentioned that our roads, you can just imagine some places the road is very bad and it has rained and you are called for an emergency and the emergency vehicle is supposed to move with a certain speed. But due to the nature of the road, we have to be careful Otherwise, if you venture, the whole vehicle might even fall off and we wouldn't even get there at all. And accessibility is one other big challenge that we face. The way our houses are constructed. There are some communities that you cannot even drive through to where the fire is. And so we have to lay a lot of hoses before we get to the fire scene. And when the hoses that you have laid is very long, the pressure of the water reduces and the ability to fight fire is hampered. If you look at a place like our market, Cantamanto, if there is fire, they will always struggle to get in there. Because those of you who have visited there, you know that there is almost no access. Even you cannot ride a bicycle through. How can you go with a whole tender? Right, thank you.
Clap for a round of applause, please. Yes, so I have two more questions for the fire service personnel, and then one question. Okay. So, in brief, if you should recommend just three interventions, asset protection interventions for all the entrepreneurs here, in order for them to, protect themselves from fire and all that, what will those three asset protection interventions or recommendations be? And what are the top 3 gadgets every business person here should have in his or her premises, or every person here should have at his or her home to help fight or mitigate the incidents of fire?
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we made mention of about 5 strategies. So I'll try and then reduce them into 3. All of them are equally important though, but the top 3 are: the first one is the fire safety systems that you have to put in place. It is an eyesore when you respond to an emergency. I have been in operations for more than 7 years. When you go to a particular fire outbreak and you see the nature of the house, when you see the edifice, how beautiful it is, when you see the kinds of cars that are parked there, and there is no single fire extinguisher in that apartment or house, it's very terrible. We are only security conscious. So in our houses, we may have these Turkish doors and all that. We brag about it. My Turkish door, burglar proof, my CCTV camera and all that. Forgetting that fire extinguishers are also important. You may go to such a house and not even a single fire extinguisher can be found at such a premises. So fire safety protection equipment, fire extinguishers, for example, they are very, very, very important. They are not expensive. You have spent so much in investing into your business or your house. Fire extinguishers, roughly around 500, 600 cedis, you should be able to get a fire extinguisher, a very portable one in your home. At least 2. Just 2 is okay for your homes. So that is the first one, fire safety protection systems. Now the next thing that you need to be very wary about is the fire training. So if you operate a business, make sure that you write to the fire service and request for training so that we come and show you the things that you need to do, the things that you don't have to do for fire to occur. Okay? Both your staff and then everyone that is involved in the workplace as well. So we come in, we teach you how to evacuate safely when there's a fire. We teach you how to properly use the fire extinguisher. Recently, we did a training at West Hills Mall, and if you see how some people were handling the fire extinguishers, it was that bad. If you should do an experiment here, as I earlier said, it will be a different thing altogether. So second thing, training, very, very, very important. And then the last thing that I recommend is the fire appoint people. In the 24-hour economy mix, appoint people that will be going around, be checking for gas leaks. They should be very sensitive, okay? If they sense something different from the usual, they should be quick to identify those things, and then management will react and rectify whatever normally may be happening. So these are my top 3. Fire safety systems, training and education, and the use of the fire wardens for patrols. Thank you very much.
Thank you. When you were doing the presentation, you spoke about the acquisition of fire permits and fire certificate. But you didn't tell us how much it costs.
Okay.
How much does it cost?
Yes. The reason why I left that out is it is premises dependent. So the amount that a filling station will pay for a fire certificate is different from the amount that the school will pay. So that is premises dependent. So if you want to know the amounts, just walk into our premises, any fire station at all, and they will take you through the process. Yeah. Thank you.
A round of applause, please. Question for you. Okay, so my last two questions for Pastor, the host of the program. And then I'll give you, the audience, the opportunity to also ask questions. Okay. Pastor, yeah, so you spoke about the spiritual aspect. Business as a calling. Okay, so you are aware that research says that the first 5 years in the life of every business, more than 50% of the businesses fail. The first 5 years, more than 50% of businesses that start fail. And then the next 10 years, more than 70% fail. So a business person is struggling with so many problems. The workers are stealing, the employees are not faithful, they are not loyal, they don't come to work on time. Business person is suffering, struggling with finances, etc. From the biblical perspective and kingdom perspective, what advice and encouragement would you give to such a business person who is going through this psychological stress?
Thank you very much. As I said earlier on, that business is a calling. And these days, even there is one question I ask myself, that when business is struggling, the government doesn't look at that area. But when business is doing well, now we have sustainability levy. That you have sustained your business, we need to also pay levy for the business. You see that in Ghana, or in Ghanaian context, our way of doing business is quite different. One, we don't approach business as calling. So we normally joke with our businesses. You see that sometimes we would like to behave like those who are doing well in their business. The way they behave is the same thing that we behave. We normally compete with those in the higher side, those their businesses are doing well. We like to do the same thing. And moreover also, because we don't see business as calling, one, our workers, they are number one that make us to fail. Because normally when somebody have a business, we normally bring family people. We bring friends. These are the people normally, they help our business to collapse. Because whatever that they do, because they are related to you, so they don't care. And any little mistake also will aggravate to something different. So if we are running business, we need to be very strict with our businesses. You know, if you start a business, it will not go the way that you are expecting. You'll be facing a lot of challenges. But because as even I mentioned in my presentation, that if a minister, you come to church and there are only few members in the church, that doesn't mean that you should close the church or you should walk away and go. So it's the same thing also that we face in our businesses. Sometimes when we face challenges in our businesses, we just leave it like that. Because there are many times that we have failed in businesses. There are many products that we have failed, but we keep on maintaining and saying that it will be well. And sometimes many of us also, if we start business, we just want to become boss. But we don't behave as we are the servants of those businesses. So if we're able to identify all these things and work hard, no matter the situation, we'll be facing problems. But we shouldn't let those problems be an obstacle. Because obstacle is something that hold your leg and you look back. So if it doesn't look back, it's not an obstacle. You move forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So your final question, and then I'm done. Okay, so duty is very, very expensive in Ghana. Payment of duty, freight, duty, port handling charges, very expensive. In other countries, it is less expensive. Some countries have free ports, but here it's very expensive. Most business people complain about that. And then they complain about taxes. Some complain about GRA-related taxes and all that. Now, as a Christian business person, or I shouldn't even say Christian because we have Muslims, we have non-Christians, we have Christians who are all doing business. So let's put it, as a business person, how do you ensure that you are fulfilling your statutory requirements and making sure that you are paying your taxes and paying the right duty without cutting corners, whilst also ensuring that you remain profitable? How do you juggle between the two?
Yeah, it's very difficult most of in our country here. For instance, like this, if I tell you the taxes I pay within a year is very huge. And even if I look at my road, in fact, sometimes I wept. It's not easy. The taxes we pay is very huge. But it's because, the reason is because only few people are paying. Only few people are honoring their tax obligation. And as you see businesses like this, government is not joking at all, I'm telling you. Even Gas Out, generally they are on your neck. They will bring you your bill and they will be calling you. They are very serious. And like our businesses like this, we have Ghana, we have about 3 agencies within customs. We have the compliance, we have the tax force. All of them, they are coming there. So many times, if you see some pickups and other things they are driving there, sometimes it's not easy at all. They do quarterly audits to ensure that your goods that you are clearing, you are paying the right taxes. Then audit service also will come. Free zone authority also will come. We have domestic tax also, they will be coming. Social security. So fire service. In fact, fire people, they are very serious. As you see them, and it's very important. There are a whole lot of taxes that we pay. But what I can say is that the working people are limited. That is the reason why sometimes we see that things are not going on the way we expected. So that is why this program is very important. That we will have much education. That everybody will work and take his business serious. Because when I travel to China, as a matter of fact, their attitude towards work is very serious. They don't joke with their work at all. When it's in the evening also they are eating, you see that yes, they are enjoying from their labor. Even the seminar, it was 6 o'clock, but we started around 7:30. You see, this tells us that even the time when it's raining, how many people you see them going to work? But in the some Asian countries and West European and the American, that is not their attitude. They serve their business like they are serving God. Because I know, Pastor, that is how it is. If it's raining and today is church service, pastors will pass through the rain and go. Some members will pass through the rain and go. But when it comes to attitude towards work, that is not the way we behave. Our workers, most of them are obstacles. If they are working, they don't take their work as their calling. But if everybody can take their work as their calling, we know that Ghana will do very well. And majority also doesn't pay taxes. There are a lot of people, they don't pay taxes. So if everybody is working, one way or the other, will be paying taxes, and the taxes also, I believe that the government is taking it from only small people. So those who are doing very well and they report regularly, these are the people also always there on their neck. But whatever the situation, we are doing our best.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Your answers have been well taken. Thank you so much. Panelists, we are grateful. Please, audience, business people, the microphone. Okay, it's here. Please, your name.
My name is Kingsley Gabiso.
Okay, and what do you do, please?
I run an accounting service.
Okay.
Yes. I want to draw the attention of fire service to a potential disaster on this road. Anybody that uses the road from Barrier to Tuba, when you get to the curve in Botiano, you see the traders there light fire by the roadside and they are cooking. Periodically, you will see the gas and the fuel tankers loaded going to discharge periodically. Anytime I am passing by and I'm following a tanker, I am always scared and afraid for my life, because that tanker and the fire by the side of the road is a potential disaster waiting to happen. And everybody around this community will be shouting and running there. But it is something that we can easily avoid. Another suggestion to the MP. The MC. With the work I do, I happen to work with a lot of hotels. So I understand the potential of this area for employment and its immense potential for the 24-hour economy. But then, the road. You have already said that it is being packaged for construction. But can this road be made a dual carriageway? So that
Which one? Which one specifically?
From Barrier to Tuba.
Okay.
So that it opens up the area. And I'm not saying we should go back, we should construct what we currently have. If we construct what we currently have, the area will not be as open to create the needed employment for the people. Because anytime you speak to anyone and you tell the person, oh, there are nice beaches around this place. Oh, Kokorite, no, I won't go. It's too far. Traffic. And you can experience it on holidays. When the road was okay, when the road was good, right? Anytime people are coming here, there's a lot of traffic. So we are happy that, yes, it is being considered for construction, but can it be expanded to open the area? I believe if that road is expanded, it will achieve, I think, maybe 5 times what the 24-hour economy market is trying to achieve with the 500 direct employment, because it opens the entire area. Thank you. So these are my suggestions, no questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. He'll answer it before we go to the next question. Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much for your inputs, but I just want to add something small to it. You know, NDC government, especially His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is someone who is very ambitious with whatever he's doing. Even starting that express route from Accra to Kumasi is very ambitious. If you look at the structures that they are going to pull down, which they are being pulled down, the farm products that are being graded, it's not small money that we are spending there. I'm telling you that you wait until the contractor hit the ground. It is not only these beaches that you see here that will be here. There are some investors that we are dealing with, and I can tell you that as a municipal chief executive, I'm in talks with an investor who is coming, and you know, Ghana, we don't have what we call the marine transport. we don't have it. I sat down and I realized that this our road is because everybody is using the road. And that is why the traffic is there. So if we should get an investor who will come and at least we have some, let me just call it a ship or whatever, on the sea.
Speedboats.
Yes, that will transport people going to Accra or Tema, or transporting people from here to Winneba or to Cape Coast. That will reduce the pressure on the road, and the investor will make money. Do you know why? We are going to prepare what we call a parking lot. It can be underground upwards, so that anyone with a car can just drive in and park the car. We'll go into agreement with the investor. The first 1 hour should be zero. The person doesn't pay anything. Once you park, you pick the vessel to Accra or to Tema, wherever you are going. Do whatever business you want to do. Pick it and come back and come and pick your car. So when you go and you are doing your business and enjoying yourself, you will get money for the parking that you did. We get money for you boarding the vessel and also reducing the traffic on the route. That will also increase the lifespan of that route, creating employment for our youth. We are in talks. People are showing interest in this thing. But we want to finish some preliminary works before I'll move to meet the Minister of Roads and Transport and inform him of what we are doing, because that comes within his jurisdiction, so that he will now help us in doing the more engagement to fast track it for it to come on. We are very much concerned about the road. That is why I'm telling you, this is even an addition to it, to bring about lasting employment for our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable. So next question, please.
My question goes to Honorable.
Your name, please.
Pastor Samuel, also from Agape.
Okay.
Please, we are talking about business over here. I know that you are the security coordinator in our municipal assembly. Do you have a plan for patrol or something like that for the business over here? Because assuming I was in East Legon before I was transferred to this place. And if you are in the East Legon, you can open a shop like 12. You can see shops are operating over here. By this community over here, like 6, 7, you'll be afraid. Even going out also will be a problem. So please do have
because the street lights are not working.
Okay. That one, as you know. So please do have some plan for us. And the last one, this road to Reverend's factory where his factory is. Yeah. For me, as I'm going home right now, I'm going to cross, is it river before I go to my house? Because just here, Reverend knows that place. I have to remove my shoe, fold my trap before I'll cross to go to my house. Do you have some plan for us within this shortest possible time? Can you work something for us so that river from that top will just have a better place to go? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. And Reverend, I want to assure you that we are not happy with the conditions of our roads in the municipality. And we are trying our possible best to make sure that at least all the roads are more travel for our people. But it's rather unfortunate under this weather, where the rains are falling every now and then. If you even should fuel your machine and come to the road and grade it, it's just like pouring water on a stone. That wouldn't solve the situation that we are. But at the end of the day, auditors will come and then they'll pull you to public account to go and account for misuse of those funds. We are aware that we need to do something, but under this rain, let us get the rain stop for some period. Then we'll come and then grade all the roads. Like I said, the sun or whatever park on the road is for that purpose. And then we'll also now take a look at the one that you just mentioned and see what we can do. that river, whether it's a river or it's just a stagnant water, we'll see what we'll do. And I will let my urban road engineer pass by and check it and see if we can dredge for the water to move at least so that people can have a safe place to pass. Now, the issue of the security, and I heard my brother mentioning that all the street lights are. When I took office, we have so far distributed and connected almost 500 street lights. 500. The first was 200, then 150, making what? 350, another 100, making what? 450. Almost 500 street lights have been fixed. You see, I don't want to sound very political, but if my other brothers who were in office had done something and we came, we'll add on. But if it is not there and you are adding on, people will not see what you are doing, but you are really working. But you see, they said someone who is a failure is a person who will stand there and be complaining. We know that once they give you the hat to wear, it means that you have a lot of responsibility. We are working very hard to procure additional ones so that at least we can share it to the assembly members. Usually they are the people we use. We give to the assembly members to fix them advantage points where they think the places are very hard, difficult places where people can easily be attacked, and that is what they are doing. And I know very well that I've seen one actually taking videos and saying that Oshie is dark, but where we fix the lights, they will never take the videos to that side. They always want to project the negativity, but they should also try to project the positive ones also. We came to miss something, and we are working hard to correct them. A brother of mine who is an MPP by the name Listowell, NPP executive, who knew very well that this route from Aplaku through to Tuba has been like this during the tenure of MPP. He never made those noise. He went out there on social media trying to make noise and say that NDC came and the road is deplorable. It is not us who came. In fact, we constructed it and left it into the care of MPP. They came, they never took good care of it. The road get bad. We have come and we are fighting hard to make sure that the road is reconstructed. When you are given the position, it is not time for you to be complaining and giving excuses. It is about you tackling it and making sure that you resolve those issues. And that is what we are doing. Security, as a municipal chief executive, I've had numerous meetings with my people. Please, you know very well that any time Homo is coming, it's a security issue. From Botiano Ngeshama front to Domiabra, Obon constituency, we have chieftaincy issues in all the communities. Last year when I took over, we were very strategic. And that is why we didn't hear those gunshots anytime, and we celebrated it peacefully. This year, we are very strategic again to celebrate it peacefully. With the issue of patrol, our people are patrolling, but there is an issue of deficit of vehicles, which I've actually written to the Interior Minister requesting for him to donate some additional vehicles to my people so at least they can help us in doing the patrol. So I am very, very particular about the security of my people. The business people here, Sunda and the rest, my accountant friend, if your organization can help us also by donating some to us, because it is also going to serve your interest. Because once they get it and they are patrolling, they patrol and make sure that you work in a safe environment. So as I am pushing for my elder brother, Muntaka Mubarak, to give us some, I'm also appealing to the business people to also help us by giving us more, so that at least we will see the visibility of our security personnel to make sure that at least our people and the communities are safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, time is fast spent, so the final two questions. Please make it very brief. One question. Please make it very brief. Okay.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Edward Yeboano. I have two questions, one for the fire and one for the Honorable MC. In relation to security again, you were talking about 24-hour economy. In relation to the work that I do, which is Mumu, we can attest to the fact of recent mobile money transaction, with recent attacks of Mumu vendors. And we are talking of 24-hour economy. And we all know criminal activities mostly occur in the evenings. And once our 24-hour economy is coming in place, we are also going to operate in the evenings. So as the head of DISEC, I want to know the measures you are putting in place, not only for Mumu, but once the criminals are around, they know that's their time to also operate. What are you doing in that aspect to prevent them? Then that is for the Honorable MC. Then to our firemen. All your presentation were on our businesses and on our workplace. In fact, all of us here are workers, but then at the end of the day, we all have homes. And in our homes, I would love that you emphasize on our homes the preventive measures, and even if they occur, the creative measures as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, with the issue of security, like I stated, our people, the security personnel, are already doing the patrols to make sure that at least people are safe to do their businesses. But like I said, the deficit of the vehicles is what we are dealing with. And once we get that done, you will see them more. But for now, the vehicles that we have is what we are using. And to make sure that at least every business person operating within that hour will be safe to do the business that they are supposed to do for our people. So my brother, you are safe. Let me tell you, it is not only the vehicle that you see passing that shows that the security personnel are around. Do you understand? There are sometimes they will not even wear their uniform, but they will be walking around in plain clothes, and you know. Go and start the thing, and you see that right there they will be arrested. Our police officers, security officers are very much on the ground to make sure that the right thing is done. If you know the kind of things that we intercepted, you'll be surprised. How do you get the information and intercept those things? So please, our men are very much on the ground. So you be rest assured that you are free to do your business. But I want to say something before my honorable fire officers come in. As a municipal assembly, maybe I might not get the opportunity. So as a municipal assembly, what helps us to do a lot of these projects that we are doing, including the street lights that we are procuring and fixing, is the revenue that we get as an assembly. If the revenues don't come, we'll struggle to fix those things. The roads and all those things that we are talking of, graveling and grading of the roads, is a matter of getting the revenues being paid. Most of us seated here are not paying our revenue. My brother, Mumu vendor, have you been paying your business operating permits? I don't want you to answer. I know you are not paying. You understand? For Sunda, I know what happened. They are paying. And this year we'll move it up a bit. And they were crying. They moved it up a bit and they started crying. But that is the beauty of it. At least at a point we have to come to the median where all of us will agree. So that at least once we all pay, at least we get the money into one pot and we use it to help our communities. How many of us are paying our property rates? When you were talking, you mentioned that we all have houses, homes. But do you know that it is something that every person who have a house or a building, so-called, you need to pay your property rates every year. How many of us put up that building and we pay our building permits? And these are monies that the assembly is not getting. But we are the same people who will take to the social media and start making noise that our roads are bad, the assembly is not working on the road, our community, Oshie is dark, and we are not doing it like Ashley and Listowell are doing. But when we pay, do you understand? When we pay, we get the monies and we correct those problems and challenges that we are all projecting. I know they are projecting it for those things to get their solution. But if you are not paying the money into the pot of the assembly, where would the assembly get the money to do that? Someone will say, but government gives you this assembly common fund. Yes, government gave us. But government has also given us how to use the money. Government will say that construct 3 basic schools. Use this percentage to do that. Construct 2 cheap compounds. Use this percentage to do that. Construct 10 boreholes. Use this percentage to do that. Use this money to do legacy projects. Projects that MPP started and they couldn't continue. Use the money to complete it. And project that you, NDC, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama first started and couldn't complete. MPP came and they neglected it and left them in the bush. Use that percentage to complete them. Please, my brothers and sisters, where will you get the power to take those district assembly common fund allocation to go and be doing other things? You need to spend within whatever the government says you should use the money for. Where we can get the money is from you, the citizens of Gan South, the businessmen and women of Gan South. Let's just be patriotic enough to pay our levies, pay our business operating permits. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last question.
All right. So there was a question on the fire measures being applicable to our homes. Is that it? Yes. So whatever we are saying that applies to businesses in terms of fire prevention also applies to our homes. We focused on businesses because that's what the presentation was about. So indeed, if you are going to put up a building, you also need a fire permit to do that. And then after the building is completed, we come to inspect and you are issued with a fire certificate. And as for the issues of the fire safety equipment, like the fire extinguishers, like the smoke detectors, I mean, it goes without saying that you need it at home. So in your workplace, you need those protective measures at home and even in your vehicles. Wherever there is a potential for fire, you need such systems to be installed. I hope I've answered you.
Thank you very much.
The accountancy guy, he made mention of fire hazard on the Kokrobite Highway. I want to say that I've duly taken note of that. I will refer that matter to the operations department for them to look into it. So from here, I'll take your number so that we'll follow up on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev. Eric, for the good words about China, about our working spirit. Yes, I'm Chinese, huh? I'm still working and I'm enjoying it. Okay? But I have to say sorry because I don't really have a question. I have an answer. Okay, so the host, he asked about funding, financing. That's why we came here. Okay, I work for CMP. You can call us a raw material trading house. You can call us a supply chain management solution provider, or you can even call us a shadow bank, because we add liquidity to the business life cycle. So I want to make a trailer calling for business for tomorrow. So if you are industrials, if you your business in manufacturing, come back tomorrow. Okay, I'll make a brief introduction. Okay, thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. I think I know we have a lot of questions, and because of our time, we need to be here around 6:30 because every speaker have 30 minutes to speak. But 1 hour, our time passed 1 hour, and now it's around 10 o'clock. So we thank you so much because of the time I've taken over from my MC. And Honorable NCE, today he came for the keynote address. But we have what is called the municipal mixer. And there are a lot of opportunities within the municipality. But today, he's supposed not to even sit at the plenary section. The MP is supposed to be here. So the MP also have an assignment. So on Friday, MP is coming again, and our municipal chief executive is coming. There are a whole lot of things that is packed within this municipality, so long as I remain as the chairman for the Economic Development Committee. So on Friday, he's going to unveil a lot of things. And the assembly, he's also coming, he's not coming alone, he's coming with also the what do we call it, the directors and the managers of the assembly. They are all coming for the municipal mixer. Tomorrow, you see that the funding also is available. This particular program is very important because we want our municipality to develop very, very well through industrialization. Tomorrow, he made mention about, they were asking him about grants. Yes. You see that many of us, okay, we are looking for money. We are looking for money. But you need wisdom, right? You need wisdom. You can get millions of dollars, but if you don't have the knowledge to utilize that money, all that money, you lose all this money. Well, tomorrow also we have another section. And tomorrow, Ghana Enterprises Agency, last 2 years, we had the same program. And two people, the same program they came, two people had 100,000. They were SMEs. They had 100,000. Another person had 300,000, right, through this program. So tomorrow, Ghana Enterprises Agency, they are going to unveil the various opportunities, grants, and other things that the government have made it available, and the donor agencies, they've made it available for Ghana. They are going to unveil it. Tomorrow also, Sunda Ghana Limited, he is also coming to share with us his testimony, how they started, how they've grown to this stage, what can we do? There are a lot of things. And in fact, this man, he told me that so long as he remained within and doing business, and he has become well successful within Ghana South Municipal Assembly, he is also ready to support any developmental work that associates with this municipality. And moreover, also, they themselves also, they are investors. So tomorrow, there are a lot of things that is, packed over here. And the same tomorrow, the 24-hour economy, I went there, and last Saturday, Dr. Guzitano sent a representative here to come and look at this place. So, as he said that the 24-hour economy, there are facilities, there are loans, there are a lot of things that they are offering businesses. Those who can manage to run 24 hours, 2 shifts or 3 shifts within. They are, so, Dr. Diodu, he has been selected by 24-hour economy and Savannah Export Acceleration Development. He is coming here also tomorrow. He is coming here tomorrow also to unveil all this opportunity. So from now up to Friday, and Friday also we have another director also here. I don't want to mention his name. He also represents various organizations in the whole world that they give loans, grants. There are a lot of things, right? So on Friday, he's going to also introduce us. They are going to open various opportunities. The MC also is here, and we have also one of our big men within our community. They are going to unveil a whole. So this program is packaged for the business people and those also those who are aspiring to become business leaders. This program is packaged for them. So you cannot even mix, this program. And moreover, also we have a attendance registry over there that everybody is supposed to register his name. Our brother Chinese people over here, and there are opportunities tomorrow. We will give them the platform to speak about various opportunities. Sometimes it's not about money they are giving to you. There are some of them, they will give you machineries. They will support you in various ways for your business to grow. It's very important. So the program, is fully packed. And as I travel also to China, that is what we are going to do. And I've discussed with the MCE. During August, there are a lot of investors that they are coming. So we are going to do what is called matchmaking. So you are doing this. So if you write your name and other things, try to also write the sector so that we can also match you before. So August, we are going to do a serious municipal mixing, and we also find a venue, whether here or the assembly, so that we see that our municipality, we are growing, we are becoming more powerful economically. We thank all of you for coming, and tomorrow, 6 o'clock, we want you to come. At this venture, I'd like to invite our pastor, Anson, to give us his closing prayer. Thank you.
Praise the Lord. Shall we bow down our heads? Father, we thank you for today. We bless your name for this opportunity that you have given to us. Give us this opportunity to come and learn and impart ourselves. We thank you. Father, we pray that this learning over here, this learning that you have took over here, we will not leave it here. We'll go home and we put it into a practice. We pray as we are going home, you protect us and you take us to our various home. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.